is your mission? What is your ministry? Has anybody ever asked you that? The first time somebody asked me what my ministry was, it was a my therapist, and I was thinking, what do you mean? What is my ministry? I'm just a layperson. I'm not in ministry. And I never forgot that question that he asked me. What was my ministry? And today I was listening to a speaker, and he was talking about how everybody's life has a mission statement. And it brought me back to that time that therapist asked me what was my ministry. And I thought to myself, you know what? It's the same thing. Your mission statement for your life is your ministry. It's what you're called to do. It's the reason that God placed you on the planet. So if you ever thought that you didn't have a ministry or a mission statement for your life, you're absolutely wrong about that. I truly believe that God has put everybody on the planet for a particular reason, something that He wants you to accomplish. And so when I think about starting over, because I'm in a place of starting over, I'm a couple of years into starting over, but starting over nonetheless, starting over in my career, starting a new phase of life, because my kids are grown, and the last one just turned 17, so he's driving. So I'm at that stage where soon there's going to be nobody in the house. Since I homeschooled them, I went back to work. I've only been back in full-time work for a year. I'm starting over. And when I think about starting over, I just realized the hardest part of starting over is not figuring out all of the questions about what your life is going to look like, how you're going to accomplish certain things, whether you're starting over after a death in the family or a breakup or a new phase of life. There's so many questions, and if you try to prioritize them, so many times they all seem important, right? They all seem to be important, and they all seem like they need answers right away. And so I think that if you look at all of that at the same time, it's completely overwhelming. However, I am trying to look at starting over in light of my mission. So I think the hardest part when you have to start over and there's so many things that need to be determined and there's so many moving parts and so many unknowns, the hardest part is trying to do that without your mission in mind, without your calling in mind, because that gives you a framework when you're thinking about, all right, God, what is it that you want me to do? What is it that you've called me to accomplish? What gifts and talents have you given me? What things have you given me that I'm passionate about? What things have you brought me through? All of those things clue you in to your purpose and your calling, I truly believe. And when you then take that as a framework for figuring out your next steps, I think it'll make it a lot easier. And that's what I'm trying to do. And so when I think about how I'm going to accomplish that, every decision that I have to make, so if I'm making a decision about my job, because now I'm in a new phase, I'm starting over in my career, because I haven't been in the workforce in over 15 years. I mean, I did part-time, teaching or substitute teaching, but I have not been in a full-time career corporate job in over 15 years. I am essentially starting over, especially because I was in the tech field in IT prior to me, coming out of work to raise my kids. And that field changes so quickly. So it's not something you can just jump right back into, right? And so as I'm thinking about, okay, what where do I start? What kind of jobs do I look for? Um, I feel unprepared. It's scary, especially because my skill set is now outdated in a lot of ways. Not all of it, but in a lot of ways. I was a programmer before. They're not programming in the same languages even. So I'm like, God, what am I supposed to do for work, for employment? But then I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to think about it in light of the bigger purpose and the bigger reason that God has put me on this planet. And if I can do something for work that either leans into my purpose and my calling, or allows me time to pursue my purpose and my calling, then that will help me make the decision. So in my case, I really believe God has called me to inspire other women to pursue their purpose and calling. That's one of the key things that I want to do. I want to do it through writing. I want to do it through speaking. I want to do it through just being a mentor and a friend. I believe so many people, they don't see the value in their giftings and in their struggles and in the things that they've overcome. There is purpose and intent in all of that. And I want to help women see that, how you can go from point A, where you've been through a series of experiences, you've got a certain set of skills, then there's some things over here that you're passionate about. And how do I connect all of that? How does that, it looks disjointed over here. It looks like one has nothing to do with the other. How do I connect those people to pieces to really begin to walk in the calling that God has for my life? I really want to help people do that and discover that. And if I can't do that right now as a living, then I'm going to pick a job that allows me the time to be able to do that. So that is what is helping me to determine, should I pick job A or should I pick job B? And right now, the job I'm in, the job that I chose, is I'm back in IT, but the learning curve is huge. Obviously, I've got a lot to get caught up on. However, I went with a company that has a hybrid schedule. So I work from home on Mondays and Fridays. I don't have the really long commute on those days, which is great because that gives me a chance when I save those hours of commuting on Mondays and Fridays, that gives me time to work on things like producing content, whether it's writing or video content, but it gives me the time to do that. So that is an example of what I mean by using your mission statement for your life or your calling or your ministry, whatever you want to label it as, and using it as a framework to make decisions when you're starting over. And I think that if you try it, you can apply that idea of using your mission and your purpose as a framework to decisions about health and wellness. Maybe you're starting over, a health journey. I'm in the process of doing that as well. If you're starting over in your finances, I'm in the process of doing that as well, because oftentimes when we're resetting in life, we're resetting all the things, right? A lot of areas need to be reset at once. But this is helping me make it easier for me. So if I run everything through that filter, I'll be in alignment. Every area of my life will be in alignment. And I think that will help things fall into place a lot easier. And I'll, share as I'm going on this journey of being in my early 50s and starting over again in my career and in my finances, because things were very, very lean when I was a single mom, homeschooling full 4 kids and just working part-time. Things were very lean. Now I'm about to be an empty nester and I'm back in full-time work. So, you know, what goals do I want to now accomplish with my finances? And those kinds of things, I think we can use that framework for. So I wanted to, number one, just continue to encourage you that you do have a reason beyond your roles. That is the big takeaway also that I want women to get. You have a reason for being beyond your roles. And what do I mean by that? I mean beyond being a mom and being a daughter and being a sister and being an employee and being a wife. Beyond those roles that people expect you to fulfill, there is another greater purpose for your existence when you are no longer in those roles. Because yes, you'll always be a mom, but your kids aren't always going to need you to the same extent that they do when they're younger. You will always be a daughter, but your parents aren't going to need you in the same capacity forever. So the roles can shift. They can look a little differently depending on the age of or stage of life that you're in. And because of that, I truly believe that your purpose doesn't end when your role changes. Your purpose is, there's a bigger, larger purpose outside of your roles, a reason that God has put you on the planet outside of your roles. And I think all of those experiences that you went through in life in those roles is feeding your greater impact, the greater purpose, the reason that you're on the planet to touch people beyond your immediate circle with your wisdom, with your knowledge, with your experience. And so if you're stuck and thinking about starting over, if you're in that place where there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of things are changing, you have a lot of decisions to make, they all seem important, everything seems like it needs to be done right now, try this idea of filtering those life decisions through the framework of your purpose, your mission, your calling. It is so wonderful to know that the God of the universe, the creator of heaven and earth, has a reason for you to be here. Are you going to step into it? Are you going to consult with him to lead you and guide you and help you to put the pieces together? Why he had you go through X, Y, and Z? Why did he gift you in a certain way? Why is it that you love to do this certain thing? You love to care about people. You love to encourage people. You love to write poetry. What is the reason that he's given you all of these things? How does this puzzle fit together? Are you going to lean into it? I hope so, because I want us all to hear, "Well done, thy good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. Now I will make you ruler over many." He is going to bring beauty from all of the ashes of our lives, because we all have a mission statement and we all have a reason for being. So I encourage you today, lean into that question. Go through it over and over in your mind. Talk to the Lord about it. Talk to friends about it. And let me know what you come up with. Let me know what the pieces of the puzzle that you're figuring out. I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And if you are interested in being part of a mentoring community of women where we are paired together to just be prayer partners, to be texting buddies, just somebody that can come alongside, Be a listening ear when you need it. Just be a friend when you need it. Let me know. If we get enough interest, that I'm going to organize that type of community right here on our little corner of the YouTube. And also, I can't end the video without reminding you guys to study yourself, study the Word of God, so that you can see you the way that He sees you. He's got great things in store. I love you guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Think about your mission statement. Bye.